She helplessly saw it happening.
I guess alianguka kwa bafu akitoka hivyo. Akaanguka akagongwa. Akaitana, unajua mimi sikuwa najua ni nini.
Regretful memories.
Ningemsaidia kama ningekuwa mkubwa. Na tunaona
it is only natural for her to blame herself.
Became a breadwinner at the age of 8 years.
If they didn't have that agreement with my dad, that we do not belong to that dad, today we could not have rented a house. We could be living in our dad's house.
Many people, even though they live in this world, but actually they don't know where is their life.
Stay tuned.
The pain of losing your mother is way too hard to bear. To add on that, being separated from your dad under circumstances you cannot understand. This forced 23-year-old Elijah NYAMBURA to become a breadwinner at the age of 9 years. Hello and welcome to Family Matters, a program designed to look into and solving issues affecting families. I'm your host, Juliet Moremi.
Zarun in the house, bro alikuwa ameenda shule. Sasa mimi juu alikuwa class 4 I guess. Na mimi sijui class 2. Sasa mimi nilikuwa hivyo tu nimekaa. Mimi sikuwa hata nilikuwa nimegoja, nilikuwa najitayarisha. Ndivyo after then time ikifika nitoke. I guess alianguka kwa bafu akitoka hivyo. Akaanguka akagongwa. Akaitana, unajua mimi sikuwa najua ni nini. Akaitana mimi I just assumed. Aliitana so many times. Actually nasema if it was today I would have saved her. Sasa after hapo auntie akakuja, nikamwambia auntie mama ameanguka. Huyo auntie wa huko. By the way she was actually by our side. Kimwambia hivyo akashtuka. Sasa ndio wakaingia akasema duru watu wakakuja ma neighbors. Sasa akikuja sido wakamchukua. So ilikuwa hii incident ilikuwa baya kabisa. I don't like that day. Wanga inanipea stress sana nikikumbuka. Ningemsaidia kama ningekuwa mkubwa. Na tunaona
it actually happens that if somebody passes away and you found yourself within the reach of that person, chances are that you might begin to blame yourself for their death. It is a way of escaping the pain of reality. It is more or less like an escape kind of. So what Wangari is experiencing is common. It's a natural thing. If you don't have anybody to point your finger at, chances are you'll begin to blame yourself.
Because auntie alikaa 20 minutes before akuje. na bado hiyo time bado alikuwa anaitana, mama alikuwa anaitana tu Wagare, kaitana mara mingi, alikuwa anaitana Wagare tu. Unajua ni mimi tu tulikuwa tumeacha na yeye kwa hao. Hata hiyo story hata sijaitaka kuambia hata msi hata mmoja. You are the first people I've told.
But the only way now she can overcome this guilt and the regrets is to accept that it was beyond her. It was beyond her. She was in class 2. What can a class 2 child do to save a mother who has fallen in the bathroom? It was purely beyond her reach. So the best thing is to be real with herself, know that she couldn't have saved her because she's simply lying to herself so that she can console herself with the guilt and the pain and the regret and all that.
As humans, everyone is subject to the destructiveness of greed, and most of us have seen the repercussions that come by as a result of material wants. Families have been broken, friendships turned into enmity, and so on. Usually, the victims suffer the most, and usually the culprits use fear and power as a way out. They might threaten or half-heartedly seduce the victims. Elijah's extended family took them away from their father's care, claiming he had not finished paying dowry. He claims they later shared his parents' belongings amongst themselves, leaving nothing for them. He insists that his father had nothing to do with this and was also helpless. Elijah, I understand your parents were living together before your mom passed on. Maybe you can tell us the main reason why you shifted, you and your siblings, you shifted from your dad's place to your mom's background.
Before my mommy died, she had not. When after my mom's death, that's when we shifted from my dad's background and we shifted to my mother's background. The reason behind why we shifted there is because of misunderstanding between both the families, both the family of Akina dad and Akina mom.
When all this was happening, you were a very young boy then. I wanted to know, like, could you know or have any background information why they made that kind of a decision?
There was a time the grandpa who gave me money to go and be circumcised, the last born of my mom's father in their family. As we were speaking with him, he told me that because of misunderstanding came between both families because of the word dowry, that my father had not taken dowry to my mom's background. Now after that agreement, it is when they decided that everything that my mom have entered, before we went to my father's background, we were living in a renting house. Before my dad introduced my mother to his home, we were living in a renting house, we still with our dad. So after that agreement, it is when they decided that everything that belonged to my mom or belonged to their daughter, that should be shifted from my dad's house to my mom's background. That was the main cause till today that made them to have an agreement that we do not belong to that dad. Yeah, simply because they had not paid dowry. The materials that they were claiming till today, I really ask myself, because the word lad, it is something that is of nothing, because What they claimed is my mom had bought a piece of land in Gikomba by then, and she had built a hotel. From there she had a business, she had a milk bar still in Gikomba, a big one, whereby she used even to sell 500 kg of milk. She was a good supplier to big hotels in Nairobi. And from there it is only furnitures, things like furnitures and some amount of money my mom had. And the other thing was the amount of money that was brought during the burial, because my mom had a lot of friends. I was told by my grandpa, the one who gave me, I have talked about, gave me the money to be circumcised. He told me when my mom was to be buried, because they were claiming that my dad has not taken dowry. My dad came before my mom to be buried, and he came with a lot of friends. They came with the dowry that they were claiming. And my grandpa and the brother to my mom's, they denied the dad to do so. So since then, my dad sort of like the family of my mom, they have more issues than this dowry they were talking about. So in short, whatever they wanted, when I grew up, I came to realize whatever they wanted was just only my mom's property. And after my mom's death, like 1 year before my grandma died, they shared the property of my mom among themselves, now the uncles. From there, nobody wanted to take a responsibility of their sisters' kids, to say that I will provide, I'll do this to them. Since my mom died, she had a lot, and since she died, there isn't no one I have ever seen telling me that I have bought this shoe to you, wear it. I have bought this cloth to you, wear it. I used to even not to go to school because my mom died when I was in class 4. I used not to go to school. By then I was in class 4, just only because of lacking a pen, just only because of lacking something to wear, and I go to hustle so that I can get that basic need that I want. The main cause why they had an agreement that we do not belong to that dad, it was that they wanted my mom's property.
Sometimes people make a mistake of thinking that time heals, but time actually doesn't heal inner injuries. Inner injuries must be confronted with reality. And reality in this case for Elijah is that the relatives of the mother distanced him from his own father. And that in itself basically is a source of pain. For Elijah, for her sister, it's a source of pain. Now, the only way to get healed is to face the reality that what they did was wrong, and acknowledge that they were mistreated, they were treated badly, they were taken away from their dad, some injustices happened, but they must continue with their life. So what is the first option here is forgiveness. Look at the issue and say, bygones are bygones. Whatever happened, happened. We have suffered all this much as a result of that. So should I continue suffering over something that is already gone long and past?
Till today, I always ask myself, if they didn't have that agreement with my dad, that we do not belong to that dad, today we could not have rented a house. We could be living in our dad's house. Today we could not be so stressed. How will we educate? What will we eat? Because I'm sure that my dad could have been providing to us. I'm a butcher and I work every day I get job. And I have not got anywhere to work permanently. I work here and there, and during Sundays I really go to motivate young people. That is how how I'm earning a daily bread.
Forgiveness is not excusing the offense. So by forgiving the relatives of her mother, he is not saying that they did not do anything wrong. Forgiveness is basically freeing yourself from the burden and the weight. So when he forgives them, that weight is lifted. So he's forgiving for his own sake, not for them, for his own sake. Because if he doesn't forgive, he continues carrying the weight and it will continue pushing him down, and the feelings of revenge will continue coming, the bitterness will continue eating him on the inside. Actually, unforgiveness is like taking poison and expecting another person to die. It's not possible. You take the poison, you die. So he is allowing too much poison on the inside of him by holding this grudge against his mother's relatives. The best thing and the wisest thing for anybody who has this kind of a thing to do is forgive and release.
She helplessly saw it happening.
I guess alianguka kwa bafu akitoka hivyo. Akaanguka akagongwa, akaitana, unajua mimi sikuwa najua ni nini.
Regretful memories.
Ningemsaidia kama ningekuwa mkubwa. Na tunaona
it is only natural for her to blame herself.
Became a breadwinner at the age of 8 years.
If they didn't had that agreement with my dad, that we do not belong to that dad, today we could not have rented a house. We could be living in our dad's house.
Many people, even though they live in this world, but actually they don't know where is their life.
Stay tuned.
We live in a renting house since we shifted from my mom's background, and getting the rent, it was a tough thing. Getting a daily bread still was a tough thing for me to do. Kuna wakati sistangu alikuwa amerudi mahali mamangu ametoka, na wakati alikuwa huko, anko wangu alikuwa anamtiliti kama mnyama.
Abuse and domestic violence is a problem often overlooked, excused, or denied. An abuser never plays fair and often hurts as a way to gain respect and power. Most victims can only do so little about this, as they mostly don't have a choice on the matter. Beth Wangari, Elijah's sister, saw what her brother was going through and decided to return to their mother's family, a decision she would later regret. She claims that when she went back, they put her through so much suffering, she opted to go back to her big brother.
Our lives there were so, I guess, haikuwa favorable vile. Sasa ikaenda ati venye tu wanatuchapa kabisa, wanatuchapa haonika, hata ana huruma na sisi. Sasa ndo time ikafika, hata hizi vidonda hizi. It was one time when my uncle beat me so bad. Sasa ndivyo tutoke huko, uncle mwingine wangu akanichapa. So I guess he had a beef with me kwa sababu nikitoka kwenda kwa table, tulikutana na yeye kwa mlango, kwanza akanislap. Akinislap akaendea kijiti akanichapa. Ikafika mahali hata alikuwa amenishika hivi. Alikuwa ananichapa upside down.
And you know the whereabouts of your dad nowadays?
Nowadays he works in someone's farm as a shaba boy. And since my mom death, my mom's death affected my dad, because since then he started taking beer, started being drunkard man, and till today he's still a drunken guy.
The father of these children, number one, he got wounded by the death of the wife, just like anybody would feel when they lose their spouse. And so probably even now, getting the children would remind him of the wife who passed away, if he was not able to deal with the death of his wife. So he might choose to forget everything and live as though there was no wife there was no children, because the remembrance of them is very painful to him.
Unajua, I guess it was not his wish. Maybe nyako zangu alimwambia waache twende na wao. I don't blame him. You know, mi mtu akinikosea, I actually forgive after some times.
Sometimes we really met with him and I say hi to him, but there is nothing else we really speak to each other, only saying hi. Natumai ya kwamba by time siku moja atakuja kujua sisi tulikuwa watoto wake, kwa maana sijui ni kwa nini mpaka wa leo hajawahi fikiria alikuwa na watoto.
If a man feels inadequate, like for example the way the in-laws made him feel completely inadequate, that he couldn't raise his own children, by this time, because they have suffered enough, and this Elijah took the responsibility that was his, he might have this kind of shame that he cannot be able to face them again.
And you know the whereabouts of your dad nowadays?
Nowadays he works in someone's farm as a shaba boy, and since my mom's death affected my dad, because since then he started taking beer. Sometimes we really met with him and I say hi to him, but there is nothing else we really speak to each other, only saying hi. Natumai ya kwamba by time siku moja atakuja kujua sisi tulikuwa watoto wake, kwa maana sijui ni kwa nini mpaka wa leo hajawahi fikiria alikuwa na watoto.
Do not entrust your future on others' hands. Rather, make decisions by yourself with the help of God's guidance. Hold your beliefs so tight and never let go of them. Elijah sacrificed so much of his young life so that he could take care of his family. All that he did it having his little sister and brother always in mind. They in return value him so much and hope to return the favor once the opportunity arises. They even call him father at times.
I had to bear with everything because I can't do anything. He has been catering for my needs. You know, I'm so pleased with my brother. I have to stay with him. However, the problem is, chenye atapata tunashare. Life ya watoto wengine, they have their mothers, their aunts, all their relatives, but their lives are so uncomfortable. Sasa mi naona juu tuko na brathangu and is here to support me, mi naona ni bora tu iwe hivyo.
She is always thankful of having a brother like me who have been sacrificing his life to satisfy them and to make their life the way it is today. When I'll go to college, that definitely speaks that we can sleep without having something to eat, and even we can end up having no one to pay the rent for us. I'm the breadwinner and I'm the dad. Second thing, it is that I would like much to go to college, but when I shift from my house, I really fear how the life of my sister will be. Because there is one thing that will make me happy. It is when she will clear her Form 4, and that I may leave her. She's now independent, because when she will be clearing her Form 4, she will be someone who is well mature up in mind. They need my attention more, and they need me more, because I'm the only breadwinner. I'm the dad, the brother, and the mom in the house.
Book reading is considered to be one of the most intellectual activities in the society. Different people like to read different books which suit their personalities, preferences, and aspirations. Elijah has been able to publish 3 books which seek to inspire others to lead a morally upright life.
For someone who might not understand the book or your story, would you kindly tell us something short about your book that you have written?
My book, I have a book called How to Be a Victor. The content is which are there. The first content is who is a youth. The thing that made me to be inspired is young people are wasting a lot of time doing unproductive things in life because they have not yet realized who they are. What I would like to tell those who really makes decision on behalf of others, it is they have to be careful the kind of decision that they are making, because in our case, my mom's parents made a decision for us. They said that we do not belong to that dad who married my mom just only because of a term dowry. I would like to tell them that before they make a decision and before they utter something, it is of good to think the consequences that uttering words that will cause.
There is a place where the adults ought to come in. For example, if both parents have died and their children who are left are below the age of 18 years, those ones are supposed to have a guardian, so they cannot be allowed to make their own decisions. And the decisions are not supposed to be made by just one person, because when both parties are involved, in case of mistreatment, there are some of those people who will not agree. Not everybody will flow with mistreating those children. Somebody will stand out and say, no, I don't think you're doing the right thing. And now when it comes to that point, the parties that feel the children are not being treated well, they can now carry on to even report the case to the authorities. But when the children are left under the care of just one person and everybody else moves backwards, if this person gets tired of raising their children, they can decide to mistreat them and nobody else comes in. However, when there is a child who is at the age of adulthood, they are not small babies, they are not like underage, they should also be consulted so that they also say what exactly they would wish to happen.
As Elijah alleges, wrong decision making is what has led them to the kind of life they are living today. This serves as a wake-up call to all adults as they make decisions for the young mind to always look into the effects of these decisions. That has been Family Matters. I have been your host, Juliet Moremi. Until next time, God bless you and enjoy the rest of our programming.